Questions anybody has?
I've got a couple of questions back here
Go ahead, Catherine.
having to do with, this will be police department related.
Yes.
I've been to the ethics training a time or two as an observer, and one of the things that stuck in my brain was that the attorney would repeat over and over about how the state law is just the minimum. It's the floor. It's the bare minimum of what a person should or should not do. But just because the law is that floor does not mean you should strive to go above the floor. My question having to do with the body camera is, does the AB 748 prohibit specifically the release of non-critical incident body cam?
It doesn't necessarily prohibit. It provides a guideline, like you mentioned. Departments are free to release the video if they want. And again, my decision is to stay within the spirit and letter of that law.
Wouldn't it be in the department's best interest as far as transparency with the public if there is another video out on the internet showing one side of a story to release the officer's side of the story, so that even when the officer is fully exonerated, the public can see the officer's side of the story?
You know, as I mentioned, if you do that, you're setting up a precedent, and then you're deciding which ones you want to release in the future. And I'm not going to put our department in a situation where we're having to pick and choose what videos we're going to release.
I'm just afraid that in the future we're going to have this scenario where people are going to feel distrustful about the department if there is video out there that shows one side of a story and the other side of the story is not shown.
A valid point.
I have another question having to do with when you're getting pulled over, a couple actually. What about when your registration or license is in a non-traditional location, say, for example, underneath a floor mat?
As far as retrieving it?
Yes.
Well, I'll answer that, and I'll let the captain, if he has any additional thoughts on that, is you wait till the officer asks you for it, and then you explain what you're doing, so he knows exactly what you're doing.
Okay, another one is, do we have any unmarked cars that might be pulling people over?
Yes.
Okay, following up on that, what should the average citizen, is it okay, well, I'm not going to say it's okay, but I've been advised that if you're in an area and you're being pulled over by an unmarked car and you're not really sure whether or not it's a police car or not, that you should call 911 and make sure that it's actually a real policeman who's behind you, not somebody who's gone and bought a rack of some kind and stuck it on top of their car.
There are numerous occasions where people are basically pretending to be an officer and pulling people over, and they've been, I think last week they actually tried to pull over a real cop and they end up getting arrested. So if it's one of those things, and if your discretion tells you, hey, I don't feel comfortable, go to a well-lit area, go to a gas station. You can call 911 if you like, but at some point you're going to have to find a location to pull over so it does not become into a pursuit situation.
One other thing, what I would also suggest, I'll tell you what I tell my daughter, because she goes to Stanislaus State. I've already told her that if this happened, go to the nearest point that you feel that you're safe. If you see that, you can't obviously tell that it's a police officer's car. But first thing, as soon as it happens, again, like I said, go to somewhere that you feel it's safe, but make sure that you follow all the laws. Don't start running through stop signs. Don't start speeding. Don't do things like that. Obviously, if something goes beyond just the lights trying to pull you over, then you're going to have to play that one by ear. But get to someplace safe where there's a lot of people, make a phone call 911 while you're actually trying to get pulled over, because there are people that are actually, and I do believe there was a guy in Winton that was doing that. So yeah, I would suggest it. If you don't feel comfortable, do those things.
Okay, this one, my last one is not exactly like a safety issue per se, but it has to do with our vehicle abatement ordinance. I have heard of people who have gone on extended vacations, say maybe they've gone to Mexico during the winter for 3-4 weeks or more, and come back and find that one of their vehicles have been towed. So what I want to know is, what is the person supposed to do who has a registered vehicle, a drivable registered vehicle that they're going to have parked in front of their house while they're out on vacation for 2, 3, 4 weeks or more? What should we do so our vehicle doesn't get towed?
They can call the police department, and we still do house checks. They can inform us and let us know. I know we have one of the officers here now that actually does the AVA program. Just let us know what's going on. I mean, we're going to work with the citizens here. I mean, we're not here to out and do everything, just to make their lives miserable. So we'll do what we can to help them out.
Yeah, I would add, if that person's leaving and there's somebody helping to watch the house, pick up the mail, things like that, that they help make sure the car's kept in a condition where it's not going to look like it's abandoned. The weeds grow up, they get real dusty, and the AVA program itself is mostly geared towards those cars that are inoperable in a condition, and so a lot of times, in fact, I'll refer to our AVA expert who's in the room, Corporal Kirk, who does a great job, and he actually keeps tabs, and he knows when cars have been there for a long time. Not just while on vacation, but if a car's there and it's been there, and I think for the most part, we give people a lot of extra time. We're not going to tow it within a 10 week, because what you have to do is once you identify that, you have to mark it, and you send out the registered letter to the owner and to the legal owner and the registered owner, and you give them so much time, and then on top of that, you can give them another several weeks to comply with that law.
Okay, thank you.